What's going on, Wolfgang? Today I want to talk about something that actually happened a very long time ago, about a year ago actually. But I think it's something that people feel was never actually addressed in Avengers Infinity War, so it will probably be addressed in Avengers 4. Just a quick reminder about the Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway that I'm doing. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment below with your thoughts on the video and your favorite superhero.
What is your job exactly besides making balloon animals?
Okay, so does anybody remember this clip?
I know who her new BFF is, and I can't tell you.
Oh.
I can't, but I promise you, it's brilliant and unexpected and just so good.
Okay. Frenemy?
Oh, I don't know about any frenemies. I mean, she's on a clear mission, as everybody is, to deal with someone with a glove. And I think that's, the most important issue.
No.
So I think people are grouping together to take care of this task.
So whether you've seen it before or this is your first time seeing it, let me ask you, who is her new BFF? You might right away say Gamora, but they didn't really have any screen time together in Avengers Infinity War except for when Gamora was being tortured. And not to mention, she said it was unexpected, and I think we could all expect Gamora and Nebula to kind of rekindle their friendship/sisterhood, so that's not really unexpected. Again, she says it's brilliant and unexpected and so good. Who is she talking about here? Okay, let's just break it down real fast. Let's ask ourselves, does she have a BFF in Avengers Infinity War? No, she doesn't. The first time we see her is when she's being tortured by Thanos. The next time we see her is when she arrives on Titan. And that's pretty much all the screen time that she gets. So when she's being tortured by Thanos, she's alone. Yes, Gamora comes for a little bit, but I would not classify that as a BFF. And not to mention at the end, she says that they're teaming up. So there's not really much of a team up here. Gamora is just really trying to save her sister from being tortured and killed. So I wouldn't count that. But then she goes to Titan. Once she's on Titan, she is with the Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. But she shows up to the party late. And again, I don't think she becomes so-called BFFs with anyone in this scene. There is the scene where Nebula and Star-Lord find out that Thanos killed Gamora.
Where's Gamora?
Why, Gamora?
Oh, bullshit.
Now, you could consider this bonding between a sister and a long-term booty call, but I don't think it qualifies for BFF status. And that's pretty much all of the scenes in Avengers Infinity War that have to do with Nebula and other people. So I don't think this has happened yet in Avengers Infinity War. I think it's going to happen in Avengers 4. And who do I think it's going to be? Tony Stark.
Huh? Did you hear what I said?
There is one final scene in Avengers Infinity War with Nebula, and that is after the snap where everybody's gone and it's just Nebula and Tony Stark left alone on Titan. This sort of sets them up to work together. Obviously, Tony, Captain, and everybody is going to be super devastated that they failed. They couldn't stop Thanos, and he did the snap, and half of the universe got wiped away from existence.
I told you to go right.
And obviously, they're not going to be okay with this. They're not going to accept it. They're going to find a way to undo it, and that's why we have Avengers 4. Keep in mind, at the end scene of Avengers Infinity War with Nebula and Tony does not know who Nebula is. She showed up mid-fight. She didn't meet Tony, she didn't meet Spider-Man or Doctor Strange, she just showed up. So Tony's going to ask her who she is, and he's going to find out that she's the daughter of Thanos. Tony will use this. He will find out everything that he possibly can from Nebula about Thanos and the Infinity Stones. And it seems like Nebula has had a change of heart now, especially since her sister is now killed, and she still hates Thanos, and her ultimate goal is to kill him. So I bet she'll be pretty cooperative with the remaining heroes that are left in trying to help them find a way to undo the snap. Not to mention, she's kind of stuck with Tony right now on Titan. Ebony Maw's ship that Tony, Peter, and Doctor Strange used to get to Titan is destroyed. The ship that Nebula used is destroyed. And we can pretty much assume Star-Lord's ship is destroyed as well because Thanos kind of threw a moon at Titan. So they have to figure out a way to escape together. And even if Star-Lord's ship is still there, they still have quite a long trip back to Earth, so plenty of bonding time. So Tony Stark and Nebula becoming BFFs. I'm here for this, and if you go back to what Karen Gillan said, this is brilliant and unexpected, and to me, it is so good. And not to mention, they are both insanely smart. Obviously, I'm not saying Nebula is as smart as Tony, but don't forget that Nebula is super trained by Thanos himself, who is also a genius. So I'm thinking these two could probably cook up some pretty good ideas. I actually think that Nebula is going to play a huge part into helping the remaining heroes figure out a way to undo the snap. Thanos gave Nebula and Gamora the task of finding out where the Infinity Stones were. And as we saw in Avengers Infinity War from the hologram recording from Nebula, her and Gamora have talked about Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. Not to mention, Nebula knows that the Soul Stone was on Vormir. So if the Avengers go back in time and try to collect the Infinity Stones, if they don't know where any of them are, Nebula will. Or if they go the route of Tony making his own Infinity Stones and Infinity Gauntlet, he's definitely going to need to know what Nebula has learned about the Infinity Stones over time. I think this works, and I also think it's going to be pretty funny to see if it does happen, because if you think about it, Nebula and Tony aren't that different. They're both really smart people who think everybody else is idiots.
Wong, you're invited to my wedding.
So they would both probably clash heads in a funny way, but they'd probably also agree on a lot of funny things as well. This is just a theory of my own. This video of Karen Gillan talking about this resurfaced, and it got me thinking, well, hey, we never really saw that in Avengers Infinity War, so I think it's going to happen in Avengers 4, and it got me thinking who it could be. I personally think it's set up to where it's going to be Tony Stark. And I think it sort of needs to be, because Tony is clearly the key to discovering time travel along with Ant-Man, and Nebula knows so much about Thanos and the Infinity Stones. I think they need to be paired up.
I think that that's, the most important issue.
But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below, and if you think it's going to be somebody else, let me know who you think it's going to be and why. And another reminder about the Avengers Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment below with your thoughts on the video and your favorite superhero. Thank you so much for watching. Woof woof.